quite a bit of bitterness coming from Team USA's coach Cheryl Reeves when she was asked pretty much any questions about Caitlin Clark. And she was asked if there was any second guessing from her on Caitlin Clark not making the team, and she very just spitefully says no. Doesn't elaborate on it, just says no.
For me, no.
And it's funny to me how even she coached this game, because if you didn't think Caitlin Clark was the caliber of player that she is, then why would you feel the need to face guard her, to trap her, to...
What happens when a championship coach turns up the heat and calls out the entire league? You get chaos, controversy, and plenty of raised eyebrows. Cheryl Reeve just unleashed a fiery critique aimed squarely at the Indiana Fever and the recent All-Star voting, and she wasn't holding back. If you thought WNBA politics were tame, think again. Reeve came armed with facts, frustration, and a clear message. She's not here to play nice. This wasn't just a rant, it was a statement. Let's dive in.
I just finished watching the All-Star selection. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeves off the team. This is my team. I don't yes. Cheryl Reeves, you asked for it. You asked for it. So now Sandy Brondello will be coaching Caitlin Clark's team, and Cheryl Reeves is going to be coaching the Fisa Collier's team. This is insane right here. And it's like, yo, Cheryl Reeves, I get it. You have the best record in the WNBA so far. You want as many plays as you can.
Cheryl Reeve could be handing out gold bars and solving world problems, and there'd still be a line of people ready to shrug it off, even when she makes valid points. There's something about that old-school WNBA energy that feels out of place, like showing up to a streaming war with a VHS tape. It's giving serious rotary phone vibes in a smartphone world.
Bruh, tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, bruh. Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeve on national television. I didn't see that.
Now, she's up in arms over all-star votes, as if she just realized democracy isn't always perfect. Welcome to reality. Cheryl, here's the thing. When someone from the league's old guard starts sounding off, it's tough to take it seriously, especially when it comes across more like a frustrated Yelp review than genuine advocacy. It feels less about fairness and more about frustration from a coach whose team just got outplayed, outshined, and overshadowed by a franchise that suddenly has the spotlight.
Cheryl Reeves, man, she came out stating how not only herself, but her players were kind of upset about the coaches' votes for the reserves, for the All-Star. Now, the crazy thing about it is, she's going to be coaching Caitlin Clark's team. So, I don't know how that's going to work with her coming out and saying what she said. I mean...
Oh, yes. We're talking about them, the Indiana Fever. The same team with 3 All-Stars, the same team that stormed through the Commissioner's Cup like they were born for the spotlight at Madison Square Garden. And now, suddenly, Cheryl's emotional thermostat seems stuck on full-blown outrage mode.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Fisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the...
There's a strange irony in someone criticizing media hype while fueling it with a public meltdown. It's like trying to put out a grease fire with water, then acting shocked when the flames shoot up. Cheryl Reeve isn't really mad about fairness. She's upset because the spotlight no longer centers on her system, her standards, her players. That spotlight has shifted, and suddenly, it's a little too bright for her liking. Let's call it what it is. Classic all-star envy. Few things stir up chaos in the WNBA like watching one team collect 3 shiny all-star selections while another gets little more than a pat on the back. That's when the conversation stops being about basketball and starts morphing into debates over algorithms, fairness, and the integrity of the game, whatever that means this week. Because when her players get snubbed, it's a systemic problem. But when her team wins, then everything's just fine. Funny how that works. The real sting wasn't the all-star ballot, it was the scoreboard. Watching her squad get thoroughly outplayed by the same Indiana Fever team in a Commissioner's Cup final with real stakes and a trophy on the line, wasn't just a loss. It wasn't a last-second heartbreak or a lucky shot. It was domination, and that's where the frustration truly set in. Not over the votes, but over getting outclassed when it mattered most.
Names are there, they're there. There's nothing no crying and whining is going to do about it. The same way you didn't give two shits about Caitlin Clark's fan base and all that. Don't nobody give two shits about your crying. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you're coaching Caitlin Clark's team. I don't understand why you had to make it a big deal and say, oh, well, this team below us that have more plays than us and it's disappointing. And like, what are you talking about? Like, you already kept her off the Olympics. Now you're going to complain about her having more teammates than your plays on the court. This team.
That loss wasn't just a bruise to the ego, it was a nationally televised exorcism. And now, Cheryl Reeve is spiraling like someone who just found out the neighbor's kid got into Harvard, while hers is still making TikTok dances in the driveway. It's petty, it's entertaining, and honestly, it's peak vintage Reeve. Because nothing says I'm totally fine like going off in public over a popularity contest that supposedly doesn't matter, except, clearly, it does. The WNBA is finally in the spotlight, gaining real traction with fans and media alike. But instead of embracing the momentum, here comes Cheryl with a megaphone, shouting about balance and respect. As if the league is being hijacked by 22-year-olds with Instagram deals. Spoiler alert, it already has been. And the wild part? It's actually working. Ratings are climbing, merch is selling out, and the Fever have gone from punchline to powerhouse. But sure, let's pretend it's still 2014, where simply showing up in a pantsuit earned you a round of applause and unquestioned authority. This isn't about logic anymore, it's about energy. That all-star roster didn't come together by accident. It was built by buzz, driven by fans, and powered by moments that exploded online for a reason. You can't coach your way around cultural momentum. You can't draw up a play against the algorithm, while Cheryl's out here playing chess. The rest of the league is live streaming Uno to millions, and every time she tries to call checkmate, the new era players just reverse the draw for and throw it right back at her.
They asked Caitlin Clark, "Hey Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make?" Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches. I like it. I don't know what's gotten into Caitlin Clark. You are leaning into this bad guy role. I love it. I don't know what's gotten into you, Caitlin Clark, but you've been on some I don't give a F lately.
Let's be honest. Cheryl Reeve's team had 3 All-Stars. There'd be nothing but celebration, maybe even a post about culture wins. But the second her players are left out, it turns into a debate about fairness and ethics. The outrage isn't about justice, it's about missing the spotlight. It's funny how quickly teamwork becomes this is rigged when the recognition goes elsewhere. The league is growing, finally gaining national attention. But if that attention shifts away from the old guard, it suddenly becomes a problem. Cheryl isn't upset about the system, she's upset it didn't favor her, and it shows. This isn't a fight for fairness, it's discomfort with being on the outside. The Fever are rising, and Cheryl looks like she's stuck trying to swipe on a screen that's already moved on.
Mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from. Of course, Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis.
Caitlin Clark was supposed to be coached by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. Nafisa Collier was supposed to be coached by New York Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello. They swapped coaches. Cheryl Reeve, dodged the bullet. Thank God I don't need to coach Caitlin Clark, man. Man, I can't deal with that. I would have had to swallow so much pride. I can't do that. Fee, she probably called him the Fee, talk to Caitlin, please. I can't coach her. I can't do it. This book's about to come out. You know what they're going to be saying if I'm coaching Caitlin Clark and the book's out? Oh, God. Fee, please.
Lads, we gotta talk about something right here. We have got to talk about something. Caitlin Clark just made the funniest All-Star selections ever. She just picked her friends. She made sure she picked no ops, as people like to call them. She made sure there were no ops on her team. If she's played with a player before, like Sonia Citron, she picked her. Gabby Williams, nobody to tweeted a negative thing.
Reeve. So everyone that was concerned about Caitlin getting coached by Cheryl Reeve, we don't have to worry about that or anything. I wasn't necessarily concerned. I thought it would be funny that she would have to coach Caitlin's team with the Indiana crowd there. Knowing the history from, the Olympic team and everything like that, this is the funniest result possible. You put her back, with Team Collier. You put her basically on a road team. That crowd's going to be all in for Team Caitlin with all the feet.
The coaches for the All-Star game in Indiana has been set, and we have no other. And a lot of people had asked me, do I think that this was going to happen? And I didn't have no clue. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but hey, it has happened. According to Yahoo Sports, the WNBA All-Star Game head coaches are set. Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve will lead the team Clark, and the New York Liberty will coach Sandy Bardello will lead team Collier. Now, the reason why these two coaches have been picked because they are the two best.
Hilarious. And not only that, she traded her coach. So she was originally meant to play for Cheryl Reeve. You guys don't know who Cheryl Reeve? She was the Team USA coach who basically has said a bunch of negative things on social media about Caitlin Clark, who had like a bad write-up in Christine Brennan's book. Then deleted all the tweets and she deleted a bunch of tweets, said the tweets never existed in the first place, and basically basically is now saying Christine Brandon